Books have changed me. Books have made me. I've just completed this book, Rodney, by Atul Gawanda. Atul Gawanda is an Indian doctor, but American. It's called Being Mortal, Illness, Medicine, and What Matters at the End. This is a fascinating book about medicine, what medicine does to us, what doctors do to us, the right kind of doctor, and the different kind of doctors that are there, and what we subject each other to, particularly during our last days. Yeah. The debate around assisted living and assisted dying, and what choices we make when we arrive at those. This is a fascinating book. It's a book that you read, it will make you cry, but it will leave you a much better person. The other book that I've already recommended to people is this book, Rodney. It's called Outlive, The Science and Art of Longevity by Peter Attia with Bill Guilford. Rethinking medicine to live better, longer. Both of these are doctors. Yeah. So I recommend these books to our doctors. There's a lot of things happening wrong that are happening in medicine in this country, where doctors are being paid money to behave like those people that you find in the ranks, the touts and that kind of stuff. That's happening. Our medicine is just becoming as corrupt as everything else. But this book teaches you how to begin to take care of yourself at the age of 20. Because the decision that you make at 20 comes to haunt you at 50. It's medicine that teaches you how to live longer and enjoy your life. Because the longer you live, the more impactful your purpose becomes. 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, you become a very impactful and purposeful person. I've finally finished reading The Political Thought of Xi Jinping in my quest to understand how China has gotten to where it is, and how sustainable that journey is. It's written by two Oxford professors, Steve Tsang and Oliver Chung. It's the one thing that I took away here is there is a thought process to where China has become. There is a strategy to what China is doing. And I say to myself, we don't have a strategy as Africans and as Zimbabweans, and that's our problems. These people have a strategy, and we need to begin to strategize. So those are my 3 books. What books have you read that you want to recommend to our book-loving audience out there?
Yeah, so in terms of, I've got a library at home. One of the things I joke with my son is there was a saying to say, successful people have got big libraries, and you look into those that have done it. But for me personally, each of the books that have inspired me, there are some, I'll talk about just 3 of them.
Yes.
And they are tied to specific events in which they inspired me. One of them is a book called From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. And that's a book that I bought as I was coming back from my studies, coming back to Zimbabwe. And
do you remember who wrote it?
It was Jack Field.
Okay.
Jack Field. Mm-hmm. So within that book, and I was coming back, you finished your studies. What am I going to do next? And 25 Rules of Success. Mm-hmm. And when I read through the book chapter by chapter, you are looking at something, a quick success here. And each of the things that then was in the book ended up becoming a life that I lived over these past years. And one of the chapters that struck me was rejection, and rejection. So I said, okay, what does this mean? So when I started talking about sustainability in Zimbabwe,
you were rejected.
Yeah, so many times. I remember in some companies, it took like 6 years to convince them to say, this is something we ought to go for. So you'd go to maybe meet an executive, you've booked your meeting, you find there you are talking for 5 minutes. We wish you all the best, my brother.
We have something to do. Please, cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. And I hope with this, I don't believe this will happen here. And I think,
But you believe.
I believe
You
that
kept it.
it's going to happen. And I remember about 2 years ago, a colleague I met with one of the NGOs wrote me a message. So, you know what, my brother, you came to our offices and we told you we can't fund such kind of things. We didn't realize that you're talking about the future, which is now a reality now. And so that book is
Wow.
that took me to building up the organization that we have today and where we are. The second book, which, you would not like this one, is The Power of Now.
So I like it. I mean, I love that book. I've read it twice.
Yeah.
I've read it twice.
So what happened with this book is I was now part of the GRI. I was going for my meetings for the standards development. So I went to Kenya Airways, the one that travels midnight you get to Nairobi.
1 a.m.
1 a.m. So I went there at night at the airport. And I realized, no, I'd actually missed my flight. It was actually the one in the afternoon. So I was supposed to connect to Amsterdam with KLM in the evening. So I'd get into Nairobi in the morning, then in the evening, I connect. So I then went back home, slept, then went to the airline. They said, okay, we've got another afternoon flight that will get to Nairobi around 4. So we may have to get you onto that one so that around 8, half 8, you can get into KLM, then you connect to Amsterdam. So I got into Nairobi airport. I said, okay, you know what, with all that I've gone through, let me look for a book that can inspire me so that I keep myself alive. I've got 800 pages to read for the standards that we're going to approve. So I bought this. I looked into the bookshop, found this book called The Power of Now. I said, oh, this is something that is going to be magic, or something is going to happen. It's going to inspire me to get things to happen now. So as I read through it, in actual fact, I didn't sleep on the plane because I just kept reading, and it talked to me about spiritual enlightenment, how we ought to be at peace with ourselves so that we can be at peace with others. So we talked about this environmental issue within our context. Sometimes it also shows the state of mind, because someone who is in there, who are at peace with themselves, they will know that after drinking, I should not throw this away.
No. And for me, the power of now is also teaches you to know yourself.
Yes.
Teaches you to know yourself. And the most important person that you have to deal with in life is yourself.
It's yourself.
And we don't create the time to be in the now and to be in the moment.
Yeah. Because we are living in this world where it's chaos, busy, noisy. We have got the gadgets all over us. We want to know exactly what is happening now.
As if it's going to change anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, the third book?
The third book is a book by a gentleman called David Schultz, The Magic of Thinking Big. So for me, it was an inspiration that taught me personal lesson to say, if we are going to achieve something, you need to stop thinking small. And we also have entities and organizations around us and nations that still think very small. For me, it sort of opened my mind that whatever you achieve, it doesn't come by just on its own. It also takes preparation. You also have to be part of the actions.
Sacrifice.
You have to sacrifice for it to actually happen. So we need to actually have bigger visions. And for me, it then led me to a company we talked about, which is Nadivia. They started off small. You read through the history of the CEO.
They're now a $4 trillion company.
$4 trillion company.
Yeah.
GDP more than the African continent.
Yeah.
And it's about people thinking big. And that resonates even with the American culture of saying, if you're in business, you have to be the best in the world.
Absolutely.